this, weakness. I do this a lot. So I'm not putting myself in the parents' mind in their position. And she goes, Valerie, because, she has issues with her son too. So she goes, all I'm thinking about right now is for summer to begin. She goes, I want to get out of this freaking virtual nightmare. The last thing I want to do is talk about fall. I just want to forget about it. And so I would never be interested in what you're talking about. But if you told me, if you don't do this now, fall's going to look just the same as the last April, May, and June, then my ears would perk up.
Got it.
And so she goes, you need to lead with those things that are going to make parents go, oh my God, I need to do this. And I have to invest the time over the summer to do it, whether I like it or not, because I certainly don't want that to happen in the fall. Yeah. So that's probably what it is, because I'm leading with my law stuff, because I always go back to what I teach. Law, these are your rights, blah, 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 and parents are like, ugh, I don't want to hear about that. So I'm not speaking their language. And so, it was like, oh, duh, I don't know. I always forget that. Yeah. So I sent you guys a lot of stuff that we went over yesterday with Lisa. Of different language to use and the points that are going to catch their attention.
Yeah, so Crystal's already tweaked the post for that.
Awesome.
And we have finally, it took a long time, but Facebook did eventually approve an ad for us as well. Okay. We find with Facebook is once you're up and running and you advertise them a lot, approvals can be minutes or 10, 15 minutes. But typically when you're new and they don't understand your business model, they can sit in it for a day, and they pretty much did, didn't they, Crystal?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of ads denied recently, and then I've appealed them, and then they go straight through. So, it's just the way it is.
I've done the boosts before, but not full on. I mean, I don't know what kind of ad you did, but
the difference between a boost and an ad is nothing on the front end, but it's everything on the back end. Because what we want to be able to do is, there's several things we want to do. One is create an actual target audience beyond people who like your page and their friends, because there's a lot of people that we haven't reached with the 300 or so likes that we've got. So that's part of it. So we can create a very unique ideal audience if we wanted to concentrate on specific states. We could do that too, or we could just go, and sometimes your ideal audience is around 1 million or less. And if you go too broad and suddenly you're reaching 25 million, you think, oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really not with the kind of money that we have to spend on budget for advertising. So we're better to sort of stay in that million and a half kind of people, which is a heck of a lot still. Millions just sound like nothing anymore, but they are.
I did, minimize it down to, I targeted to moms. I did certain ages. I went.
Okay, so which specific ages?
I went to like 28 to like 50, because I'm figuring that's probably the age of parents with special needs kids.
Yeah.
And then I did all the, special education, autism, disability. I did all of those things that would relate to, our target audience.
Yeah.
And then I did the whole nation, because it is the whole nation.
It is, yeah.
And I think those were the only.
So you did this, you have an AdWords account then in Ad Manager?
I just did that on Boost. It allowed me to do that on a Boost.
Yeah. What it does, though, it doesn't save it. It does to a degree, but when we set up the AdWords account properly, then we just call it Valerie's target market. And then we could do that. The other clever thing with Facebook ads is what's called remarketing.
Okay.
So you would have seen it if you just say you've gone on to Nordstrom and you see a great pair of boots and you think, I like those boots. And almost the next time you're on Facebook, there's those boots.
Yes.
Or you're on NBC and suddenly the boots are in the blog that you're writing. It's like, so that's retargeting. Yes. That's a fair bit of work in the website planning. So what happens is when they click on your Facebook page, there's some code that we snip out and we put that into the ad, so that then when anybody clicks on your ad, we can then retarget them. But more importantly, what we want to be able to do is get them to go to the website so we put that code, different code from Google, into the website itself, so that then we can sort of really see what people are up to and retarget them. So that's a more hybrid version, but for now, down and dirty, the good boosts is exactly what we want to do. But yeah, we could do that for sure. And then even sort of finding lookalike audiences is the other piece. Where if, let's just say you were wanting to be the next Lisa Sasevich, and she has 45,000 or so people on her Facebook page, we could say we're interested in people who look like the people that like Lisa Sasevich and Ali Brown and a couple of others, and we could do that. So I don't know if there's other people in your space that are teaching this kind of message, or people that relate to what you do that we could maybe ride on the back of, but that's another option too.
Yeah, I put about 4 names on my form that you asked me to fill out.
Yeah, okay, so that's who they would be.
But I can find more for you.
Yeah, well, ideally, it's we need to find their Facebook pages. If they have if they have less than 1,000 people on Facebook, it's not going to work.
Right.
But we can absolutely we can look at those people as well. Okay. So tell me about the membership, the $25 membership. So I've got my head around this. Okay.
So
and that's all you're selling into right now, right?
Yes, that was my starting point. Just to I was doing it as the first 50 to join, get in for $25, and then after that the price is gonna raise because I'm doing this as an offer, because it's COVID time, people are strapped for funds, and that was also to create urgency. Yep. So that was my deal was, okay, you get it $25 now, but it's not going to be for long.
Okay, so do we know what it's going to become?
I wanted to raise it to 35. I don't know if that's too big of a jump, because there's several things with this membership thing. So I've listened to Stu McLaren. He's big on membership. So I did some training with him. But, what do you think, Jonathan? Do you think that's?
Well, my membership's $197. Because the thing is, people can undervalue the value because of the price point. So even if you say the membership is going to be $197, pulling an example, but for the first 50 people, it's $25. It's like, holy crap, I'm saving $174. Because then there's perceived value and urgency, and then and a prestige that they become like the founder members, if you like.
Yes.
Then I think there's a reason to sort of jump on it. Whereas if you say, yeah, it's going to be 35, but now it's only 25.
Then they
like,
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want cheese sticks with my pizza or not? Yeah, sure.
Okay, got it.
But I would.
Okay, good.
Because what's your vision for the membership? Is it thousands? Is it hundreds? What does that vision look like?
Well, it's going to be 2 live calls a month. Then I have on my academy, I have, info in there, stuff, forms, scripts, logs, templates, those kinds of things. I'm focusing right now on COVID-19, on distance learning. But then, with schools open again, I'm going to be moving more into just your typical advocacy for the school year. So they're going to be getting, training from me through a membership, and it's going to be on the academy. So they're going to also receive those kinds of things as well. I have, there's some videos in there. Okay. That's the thing. So, and then I had what was called the level 2 or superhero level, where I was offering them a half hour of consultation time one-on-one with me, which my consult time is $200 an hour. So right now I had offered it at $100 a month for the open, and then it's going to be raised as well, because they're getting the membership plus 30 minutes of consult for me for only $100 right now. So I have a few people that opted in right now for that.
So the $100, that's per month going forward then, or just for the first month?
For the first month.
And then they go back down to 25?
No, then I'm going to increase that that includes the half-hour consult with me.
Okay. So
if I'm going to raise my regular to 197, then I got to figure out what I'm going to raise my 30-minute consult time.
It's a hypothetical number, that 197. So they go to level 2 superhero, they get a one-on-one with you for 30 minutes. Then what's the difference of that membership versus the other one?
They don't get any consultation one-on-one with me. They get 2 group calls a month. Okay.
So, but after the first month, when they've had that, is it a consultation every month? Or
yes, every month.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it would be every month they get to talk to me for a half hour.
Okay. And are they in, they're all in the same group, Facebook-wise? Yeah.
So the second level gets the same thing as the first level, only they get a 30-minute extra one-on-one with me, consultation.
Okay. And do we give those people a name?
It's called the superhero level, because that's my kind of little theme, you know, the superhero brigade, parent brigade.
Okay. Because I mean, there's 2 versions of superhero right now. One obviously is the MCU cape wearing, you know, Wonder Woman type thing, and then there's healthcare superheroes, which are the frontline workers, which is getting more press right now, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure using the word superhero would be the right hook at this point.
Oh.
Maybe it's the super mom or the
super advocate.
Super advocate, mom.
Okay.
What do you think, Crystal? I think we need to give that
we are on the same track, Jonathan. Yeah, I would think the superhero thing may not be the best use right now, because so many people are using superhero to, you know, talk about nurses and doctors and things. So it might get lost. So
and it's predominantly moms you work with, right?
The majority. Yeah. Very few dads. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, I think we've got to maybe try to find a different word or something. And I agree about the price point. While I know where you're coming from, Valerie, you want to help everyone. Yeah. People don't value you if you're too cheap, and they don't value what. And we talked about. You said that it's like probably $10,000 worth of information. You know, if you were really going to sell it. So, you know, 197 is a good price point where people are like, first of all, they're going to do the work, because you don't want to attract the people who are just going to get in your program and sit there. You want them to get results.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So here's another thought.
Very upset with me. She's like, "What, Valerie?" She was so mad at me. I'm like, "I knew you were going to be mad at me, Lisa."
So you know, when you join my boot camp with the hashtag Grace, which is totally great. I love the fact that people could do that. But a lot of people knew that I was selling that the previous month at $997, and they could really see, like, crap, this is a COVID offer beyond.
Oh, I knew that, and that's why I was like, oh, thank God.
So what if?
But I value it because I know what the value is and what.
And a lot of people now, I mean, like Karen Rolfe, she's a former Sassy. She has a 3-video download as her offer. She's a horse dressage naturally teacher. Yep. So what she does with her offer is you have to give the credit card, but you get the first month for free. And then the second month, the credit card kicks in and they have the right to cancel, which isn't really a bait and switch, because they're getting straight in there and they're getting the real information. So I almost wonder, you know, for urgency and stuff, it's like, you know, is this a $197 program? I opened it up a couple of weeks ago to just $25 for the first 50 people, because I know you need it. Okay. But here's what I'm going to do for the next 3 days or 4 or 5 days or whatever. If you just put in a hashtag Grace or Supermom I quite like, it's free. You know, I know that people who don't pay attention. And if you're committed to your kids, we know this is a long game. So the $25 for the first 50 people for the first month still applies, but I'm going to defer that by a month, so you can just see what it's like to work with me. And if you put in your credit card and we take you through it and use this hashtag, you will actually get 100% discount on the first month. I'd be in. And then it's up to them to cancel.
Okay.
So which shopping cart do you use right now to get, or how are you getting them into the academy?
I have Keep with Infusionsoft.
Okay, and you're using Keep it as your invoice generator.
Yes.
Okay, so we can create a code, easy, a coupon code.
Oh, good.
Okay, how would you feel about that?
I like that.
Because that way you're getting momentum. You're going to get a lot of people in the same room. I mean, it's going to be like, hey, why not? You know, and it's up to them to, because the automatic invoicing comes up, and it's up to them to sort of unsubscribe if you like.
Yes.
But if you bring enough value in the first month, I mean, it would be ridiculous for them to do that.
Yes.
Plus, stimulus checks are coming into the economy, and
yes.
Certainly in Canada, I don't know about the US, but we just increased our child benefit per child by $300 a month, increased, just to help parents get through the summer. So I don't know if the US are doing anything as cool as the Canadians are doing it. But, you know.
Yeah, good for you guys. Well, they're trying, but it's super slow. And yeah, it's kind of, they say a lot of stuff and then they never follow through with it.
So effectively then, tell me what kind of funding you can help people get between now and the fall.
Okay, so if they take certain steps now for the fall, they're going to be in the first in line, because they didn't do, there's a thing called IEP meetings, which is the special education meeting that you have for your child to develop the plan for the next school year.
Yeah.
And so they didn't do those because of the shutdown. So now they're behind. Now say, for example, in my local school district, there's 7,500 kids on an IEP. So you can imagine how many IEPs they're behind on. So at the beginning of the school year, they're going to have this long list. So I'm giving them tips on, this is how you get in the front of the line.
Wow.
So you're not waiting till, December to get your IEP.
Yes. Okay. Someone gave me a tip the other day. I went to Costco and I stood for an hour to get into Costco. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I brought my earbuds. I listened to 2 podcasts. I was resilient. But someone said, do you want to know the Costco deal that gets you in almost with no lineup? I went, yeah. Because I know at my Costco at the gate or the entranceway, there's a sign saying, if you're a frontline worker or in an emergency services, show us your ID and you can beat the lineup. I went,
yes.
How do I do it? And she said, you go 45 minutes before Costco closes. There's no lineup. Everybody's gone. And at 8 o'clock, Costco doesn't actually close and kick you out. They just don't let anybody else in. So you got all the time in the world you want to shop.
Oh.
And I went, are you kidding? So I went on Sunday. It closed at 5. We got there at 4:25 and we literally got a cart and we walked in the door.
Wow.
I went, that tip was worth everything.
Yes.
So if you could find like a real-time example, maybe even the Costco story or something like that, just say, I'm going to give you a tip in this webinar that you're just going to say, you're serious, Marty, I think then they just say, okay, the tip is this. And you hold that, the 7,500 people in the district who all need an interview back a bit and say, you've got to wait till the end of the webinar because I'm going to tell you something that, is going to change your life.
Yes.
And say, and that's just scratching the surface of what I can do when people get into my group. I only have 45 minutes in this webinar to show you, but that's the one thing that honestly will make the biggest difference is how do you get in front of line? And here's some of my recommendations. But I work with people. I mean, do you have a high ticket one-on-one package as well? Can people hire you?
I usually represent. That's where the parents hire me and I go to the meeting in person, speak on behalf. I act just like an attorney, but I'm not an attorney because I didn't go to law school. But I do the same things attorneys do. I mean, I win $75,000 a year programs for kids. So my retainer to hire me is $3,500 to start. So but I want to get away from that. I want to do, I want to leverage, and that's what I'm trying to do with this.
Fair enough. But you need to talk about it because people need to see how much value you bring and where you've sort of made your money for a long time. Yeah. So for years, I've been that attorney at large. You know, I help people get $3,500 worth of funding, pretty much guaranteed because of our approach.
Well, that's what I charge. I get them like $50,000 and $70,000 a year program.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Because the ABA, like the certain autism program for kids, starts at $50,000 and goes up to $75,000 a year.
And you charge $3,500?
To start. That's to start. To the reverse retainer to open their case.
Okay, and then it goes to 75.
It's $3,500 to start. Then their next retainer is $2,000. Then it's $2,000, $2,000, $2,000 until we're done. And there's no way for me to predict how many 2,000
Okay.
is going to get after 3,500.
So typically, how long does it take?
It just all depends on the case. Sometimes it can take up to a year. Sometimes it can take a year and a half. Sometimes they can get done in 6 months. But then what typically happens is those parents say, I never want you to go away. I'm keeping you until my child graduates from high school. I've had parents hire me when their kid was 7 and they kept me till their kid graduated high school.
Okay.
Because they never wanted to go to another IP meeting again without me.
Okay. So we need to talk about that a lot in the webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Less about the rights and more about the humble brag, if you know what I mean. And just how much, you know, people have paid me, you know, what would that be? $25,000 a year to help them. But then they get funding of 50 to 70. And we're not talking like 1 year, once they're in, they're in. If they get it, they get it in the 8th grade and whatever that might be.
I'm going to put that story in. I know Lisa said, where's your freaking story, Valerie? I mean, I talk about my daughter a lot, but that one case I can think of, the one that hired me at 7, well, there's several, but this one, I got them the $65,000 a year ABA program at 7 years old. He's graduating this year and he's had that program for what's from 7 to 10 years. 10 years. So 10 years at $65,000. That's almost
$650,000.
Yep. The district paid for that kid.
For less than a 5% ROI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
Okay.
And if
do you have a name and a picture that you can use of that kid or that family?
Yes. Oh, yes. It's on my website and I use it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know who it is, so I can't relate.
Yeah, I have a picture.
Okay. And that's in your PowerPoint deck?
It's going to be now. I'm putting it in today.
So your PowerPoint's 4 o'clock today, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the membership soft open is this Friday?
Yes. And then, so I was talking to Lisa about that too. She said, Valerie, if you don't get enough people in, you can't do this for 10 people. You know, she said, so you need to extend. She also thinks we should extend the cart close date and do it again.
So your schools are closed, right?
Not yet. They don't close till the end of May. Oh,
okay. And typically
2 more weeks.
When would your school year have finished in California?
It's like, I have to look, it changes every year, but it's either like, sometimes it goes to the first week of June. So it's either the last week of May or the first week of June. Okay. But there's not much left.
All right. And other states are different, right? Because I know like in Florida, the kids go back.
Other states are different. Every district is different.
Okay.
It's so confusing. But
hey, Crystal, when are your kids in Kentucky?
Yeah, so Kentucky gets out. They got out last week.
They did?
And they'll go back in August. We go back like the second week of August or so mid-August.
Yeah, I think it's an East Coast thing.
And my kids in Seattle, my twins, they don't get out till June and they don't go back till after Labor Day. So my kids have a very different schedule. And so my kids that live with me, the only time they see their sibling is when they overlap for summer breaks.
You guys closed really early.
They do, yeah. I mean, we have friends in Florida. We used to spend every August at their house. And then I think it was around about the 10th or the second weekend of August, they do no tax on all kids' school supplies and clothing as a back to school. Mm-hmm. It's like, sweet. So we would always take advantage of that, that sale, which is typically around the 10th of 12th of August or something, because Florida schools went back and our kids in Vancouver, same as Seattle, go back the day after Labor Day.
Yes. But
yeah.
even for those parents who are out, they still taking my go-to is taking this time during the summer to learn what you need to know, because you will be having your IEP at the beginning of the school year. So this is what you need to do there.
Will they still be a physical meeting, or do you think they will bring in a social distance video meeting?
So all the information, the entire information I'm getting for California, but if, I'm thinking if it's California, all the other states are considering the same thing. Yep. So if they do go back in the fall, they're going to do this social distancing things where they're going to split up the week, and they're going to have kids go to school 2 days a week, half the population, the other half, the other two. And then they're going to rotate the Friday with virtual and going to school, rotate the groups. And they're going to, it's just this insane plan. And I actually put the plan on one of my slides, and I'm going, do you think your kid's going to get an education with this crazy, insane plan? They think they're going to social distance kids from keeping them apart. They have all this hand washing, and they're going to put up partitions between the kids' seats. I'm telling you, this is illegal. This is a document from the health services, the government agencies, and the Department of Education. They are grouping together, making these contingency plans. And I got a copy of this document for California, and I'm putting it on my thing going, this is what they're doing. This is what they're talking about for California. So if they're talking about it for California, you can bet they're talking about it for the rest of the nation. And they know. You look at Fauci every day. It's going to come back when we have the flu season, and schools are going to close again. And he's saying schools cannot open in the fall. So who knows if that's even going to happen? So
well, if anything goes like Texas and the amount of new cases that they just got, I mean, you don't know, right?
Yeah. And so, there's no way to know. There's no way to know. But they probably will put the social distancing into place if they do go back, which is kind of crazy.
Well, it is. Yeah. I'm just going to put it in the chat here. An article that another client that we're working with is a psychologist, because she works with distraught kids and families, and especially kids with high intelligence and learning difficulties. Yeah. And she just found this article about touch deprivation. Yes. And how people have this skin hunger, and especially high functioning children, they need to be held. Yeah. And the idea of sitting not close to their friends, or not being able to go and stand next to the teacher, these could be real trigger points, right? My sister-in-law has a high-end clothing store in the UK, and they opened yesterday. And she showed me all these pictures of the opening, and she's got a full medical face mask, with a big headband, and it's like, you think I'm going to buy clothing off somebody dressed like that? I mean, it's almost like it's gone so much the other way now.
I believe too. Yeah.
And I think you need to bring that into it. It's like, we don't even know what September looks like. I mean, could you imagine children, being in a classroom like 6 feet away from somebody else only twice a week, with a teacher who can't go within 6 feet of them? And these kids need a flipping hug.
And that's disturbing, and it's going to damage our kids more than it is help them to open schools in that manner.
So bring that in and just say, look, we don't know what is going to happen, but here's the one thing I do know, that the person at the front of the line gets the money. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, I don't want to be fear tactics. I don't want to talk about hydroxychloroquine, whatever that drug is that Trump's taking now to, I don't want to talk about any of that. All I want to know is, you, like me, get up in the morning and you get your underwear and you put it outside your leggings and you put on the cape and you put on the gold wristbands and you go to war for your kids, Yes. Just like Wonder Woman. And just like, the only thing I know to do is to fight for my kids. And the only way you get the funding is if you're first to 9. Yeah. It's as simple as that. And I can get you first to 9.
Yes.
So if you care about your kids, as I do, and I've done this for many, many years, and since my daughter was, what grade?
She was diagnosed at 3 years old, and I won a private school, which was $75,000 a year when she was 5. Right, that was right off the bat I learned.
So if you want to capitalize on my 15, 18 years of learning, and you want to get close to the woman who kicks ass in the school system, then you need to be in this group.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I just have to.
And to me, that's more of the language of your clothes. And it's like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I told you the story of my eldest daughter when I got her into a public high school from a private school. I think I told you that story. I thought I did. Gemma, my eldest daughter, was in all three of our girls were in a private Christian school.
Yeah.
And she was getting horribly bullied by two particular girls whose parents were on staff. And I obviously I haven't told you the story. And I complained. And the principal said, I can't believe that. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you think I'm making this up?
I know.
And then I realized, like, I'm not going to win. There's such a clique within these teachers. It's ridiculous. And I got the local high school that I wanted, where all of our friends from Sunday school were going to, and we didn't live in the district. And I went to this high school and said, he said, you don't live in this city, let alone this district. I said, I know, but we're right on the line. Like, the line was 196th Street and we were 192. 192A, actually. And I said, all my kids go to the same church. My wife works at the church. They all hang out together. My daughter needs to be in this school. He said, Mr. Christian, I can't help you. I said, that's not the answer.
Yeah.
I said, she's being horribly bloody. He said, I get the bullying thing. I'm really sorry about that, but I can't help you. I said, well, that's just not good enough. And I badgered this guy, and I badgered this guy, and I badgered this guy all through the summer. Gemma went back to school on the first day. She was in pieces. She did not want to be in the school. I called him on the first day. I said, my daughter had a meltdown in the van today. She does not want to be in the school. She needs to be in your school. Mr. Christian, I can't help you. I said, Barry, you need to help me. Yeah. He said, I can't. I said, don't believe in can't. There's got to be a way.
Period. He transferred her.
Well, it was different school districts and different things. Anyway,
I don't know, maybe.
In the end, he relented by the Wednesday and said, you know what? I don't quite even know how many kids I have in my school right now. Officially, we're full, we're oversubscribed. I don't have a seat for her. I probably will know by Friday. And on Friday, I'm in the dental chair with having my teeth done, and Gemma's sitting opposite. My phone rings, which I can't answer because I'm having my teeth done, and I could see it was the school. And as soon as I had my teeth done, I listened to voicemail, and it was Barry saying, Jonathan, I have a seat for Gemma. She can start on Monday.
They can always do it. It
can always be done. But they need to know that you're that bulldog, like Crystal's that bulldog, that is going to go to battle for them.
I always say that. I say no doesn't ever mean no. That's just what they tell you. It's a formality.
Yeah. It just means not yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. I love that.
So you need to be that emotionally. I mean, I got the advocacy piece, and I think you'd be a great lobbyist in DC.
See, I know, and I'm too professional and legal, and I need to just be.
But at the end of the day, you have the beating heart of a mom who went to war for your daughter and won and learned how to beat the system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's,
I have to kind of switch my mind, my hat to that, and not the professional talking to the superintendent.
Well, no, you want that. I mean, you need that because you're going to show people how to be that professional to the superintendent. But to get them in, they need to see the bulldog mom kind of story, I think.
Yes.
Crystal, would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's going to be my take today. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, Crystal has her own scenario, and it's a tough one because her husband and her are separated. He has unlimited legal resources and she does not. And it doesn't sound like he's a particularly nice fellow. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But are you giving up, Crystal? Hell no. They're her kids, and he's basically got them under false pretense quarantine, in Seattle without wanting to put them on a plane, which I get, but it comes along the time he's had them now. You could have driven backwards and forwards across the country 10 times and brought them home yourself.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah. And take it from a girl who, like, I have a master's in public health. And so I get where you're coming from, where you put on your like legal hat and your rights and stuff. Cause I built a whole business about, educating moms on their birth, like how to give birth and it being, their rights, but they don't speak to that. Like they need to hear your baby might be taken away from you after it's born, and you don't have a say over what procedures are done. Like you're not feeding the fear, but you're educating them in a way that they understand the emotion of what may happen. And so, and just sharing those stories and being more human, as Jonathan, I know, is very passionate about, then the other stuff comes later. But if you can get their attention with that human connection, then you have them, and then they're going to listen to you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If I hear that kind of language and that kind of veracity and like, even I can see the energy in your face is different now than 10 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, this is where you want to be.
Yes.
I mean, when people watch the Wonder Woman movie, the latest one, have you seen that? The DC one?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think every little girl in the theater, stood up and held their wrists together and like, I'm going to go and kick ass, because it was such a good. The Athena, is it Athena? I think the island that they were all hiding on, because they're basically Amazon women or something like that, whatever the mythology was. I mean, it just totally got it. And her mom and her auntie just protected her like there's no tomorrow. And you should watch that movie. I think it would give you
I'll watch it.
a good stir in your spirit about just what that female powerhouse can truly be in a male-dominated world. Because that story was set against the background of the Second World War and mass poisoning and evil within the Third Reich and how I won't give the whole story away, but it's a great story.
Awesome.
And I think a lot of people would resonate, when you use the kind of not the old Linda Carter Wonder Woman from when we were growing up, which was kind of fun, but it was kind of lame. It was. This is real. Awesome. This is real Wonder Woman.
Jonathan, do you think that Valerie might benefit from a live, like a scheduled live on her page, weekly, where she really gets to be raw and real, so that can let it out?
Other than just the webinars, which are formal and they have to register and then they have to show up or watch the replay. The likes of my shaving chronicles, which I will be doing in a few minutes. I'm not suggesting you shave online, but just having those impromptu lives. Our two midwives that we work with, Crystal and I, they have 2 live calls a week now. One called Birth Chat, another one called Tea with Rion and Jay, and it's just opportunity for people to sort of listen in and just get some ideas. And even if they're 5-7 minutes long, and you just keep going live with a specific showcase of a story. Let me tell you about this little boy who in 5th grade worked with me, and he just graduated, and over that time period he got $800,000 worth of IEP support. How did he get that? Let me tell you how we did it. If you're that parent and you wonder if your child is on the spectrum, then we need to talk. And those kind of Facebook Lives, I think, would be hugely valuable. And then we could quickly subscribe them and turn them into blogs.
I think they would be. I think they'd be shared. I mean, because that is so emotional. Because I have a special needs kid. We've talked about this. If I heard you say that, I would be like, how do I get with her? What do I need to do to learn what she knows? Because I'm tired of hearing no, or I'm tired of hearing my kid's the problem, or I'm tired of, I know a lot of people whose kids on the spectrum are treated like they're the problem in the classroom, and it's because they're not getting what they need.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I want to. So what do I do? Will we just post that?
Well, let's get through today. Because we've got to get the webinar, and I know you've got some changes you want to go make. Is Liv supporting you again like last time?
I hope so.
Okay. Yeah. I'm assuming she is. I mean, I should know, but I'll check with her.
Is there any way she can take control of my computer and set me all up and connect me and get my do all that? Because I did it last time, but I'm still slow.
Yeah, I think so. As long as she logs into your Zoom with you, because you can both.
And it kind of makes me nervous in the beginning because I'm so like.
Yes. I'm trying to think. If you log into Zoom on one computer and then someone logs in on another, it bombs you out, doesn't it, Crystal?
Oh, really?
So it's just that it's just getting that participant to become panelist piece, isn't it? I mean, she could become you and set it up. No, she couldn't.
And if you're nervous, Valerie, I mean, if you're already live and you're kind of fiddling, you can just say like this, you can just be honest with your viewers that like, I'm working on, you know, this isn't my favorite part of this, but I'm really passionate about educating you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
You could even say that.
try not
Just
to
like,
let it just totally bog you
just
down.
say, you know, I'm not the technology diva.
Yeah.
I'm the
And then-
superintendent, you know, get on your knees and beg diva.
Yeah.
You know, just beg that I'll just leave your office and leave you in peace because you can't win. But I'm so passionate
Right.
that I'm learning technology because I know right now that school's out. And if all those parents wait till the fall to try and do something, the impact on those child's life, they haven't just lost, you know, 6 months. They've probably lost several years of funding. And, you know, even though I can't do technology, I'm here for one reason only. It's like the time to act is right now. So I'm overcoming my barriers, whatever your barriers are, whether you're homeschooling, whether you've not got work, whether you've got this, whether you got the time to stop using barriers as an excuse is over. If you care about your kids, which you do, then this is what you have to listen to today.
Right. And I am going to mention something like that, Jonathan, because I'm telling you, I see moms all over social bitching and complaining about how shitty school is, how horrible distance learning is, how horrible everything. They're going to pull their hair out. They're going to go crazy. But are they doing something about it? No, they're not doing anything. They're just bitching and complaining.
Yeah.
And it's like, and here I am going, here, $25 a month. I'll freaking tell you what to do. And they're not joining. That's what I like when I want to scream at them. Like, what
it's
the
insane.
hell?
It's just like, you know, I'm doing it for 25. I don't know why. You know, because I think that's, you know, my membership should be $197. People hire me for $3,500 retainer and then $2,000 a month. And I get paid like that all the time. Why the heck am I helping you?
Yeah, exactly.
Good question. Why am I helping you? Oh, I know why. Because
that's what I do, because I'm an advocate for special needs children.
Yes,
but
yes.
But also, this is the crazy thing. Okay, so there's 7 million kids across the nation on IEPs. They took a survey. 80% of that 7 million, 5,600,000 are not getting an education during virtual learning. So that's how many freaking parents need help.
Yeah. And I can't help 5 million people. No, you know, don't think my Facebook group could grow that much, but I could help 500.
Yeah.
You know, bring it down to the numbers that they can understand.
Oh yeah. So.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
I'll check with Liv that she's there for support. Just probably the best thing is join 10 minutes early in practice mode, and get everything ready in ahead of time, and it'll work.
Okay. Yeah, we did a practice run last time, and I can do it, but it's, if something goes wrong and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, then I start panicking.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, what do I do now?
No, I'll make sure she's there for you. Yeah. The other question. The 2 times I've seen you do the webinar, you have that black hat on that says essential or something?
Because I'm saying our kids are essential. Our kids' education is essential, you know, and I was kind of connecting it to that. You don't think that works?
Well, it's black.
It's black. Okay.
And there was a sassy called
I know who she is, the color girl.
And she's from Persia, and she's got it in my brain now that death is a color of black. And I don't wear any black. I don't have any black in my wardrobe, period. Because it's devoid of color, whether you associate it with death or not. And it's a big ass lettered hat. It's a bit gangsterish.
It's gangsterish.
I don't know have the hat by the side.
That was ballsy for me, because I do not do that. I'm all professional dress usually.
Maybe have it to just try, if you're comfortable, have it to one side and say, you know, I have the gangster hat. You know, I know I'm essential. I can wear this hat. I can even put it to one side or put it, you know, on the back. You know, you could do a couple of different things with the hat. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm pretty much an advocate at large. You know, I'm a lawyer without the LLC or whatever it is, you know, and because of my experience. You know, if tenure got me through law school, you know, I'd be one of the top attorneys in the city because of how many cases that I've won. Something like that. I just wonder if that hat, because as soon as I came onto the webinar and you're wearing that hat, it almost maybe step back and like, oh, so just being personal, but it may or may not be the right thing.
No problem. I was using it kind of like that was
I get it. And I don't know if I'm right,
but if it doesn't
at
work,
the same time,
that's cool.
we can try different things at the same time, right?
Yeah. Okay. Today I'll wear a bright color and I won't wear my hat.
See what happens.
Yeah. No
We're
problem.
rooting for you, my friend.
I love the feedback. I love it.
We got you into Instagram now. We need to grow that audience. We've got Facebook. Did we get LinkedIn yet?
Nope. LinkedIn I was going to worry about after this webinar because it took me a while to be able to access her Instagram. So I was I didn't want to overwhelm her.
No, we'll get there. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you.
Double fist pumps.
Yeah, you got it.
Bless you. I recorded this too, so I'll send you the recording if you want to hear some of the language.
Oh, awesome, Jonathan. Thank you.
Okay. Blessings.
Have a great
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye.